Hi, 7th graders. This is a tour of Mrs. Sobieraj's website. There's a separate tour of your McGraw-Hill portal, so you should watch that separate video as well. But here I am again on my laptop, and here again are my three children, David, Brittany, and Michael. David here works for the NFL Network. Brittany she graduated from law school at Northeastern University. She now works there in NCAA compliance in the athletic department. And here's Michael, who's starting his third year in medical school in Connecticut at Quinnipiac. I tell you that because there is a website quiz that you'll be having in class, 10 questions, and that's probably one of the questions on that quiz, as well as the fact that we are from Connecticut originally, and I went to University of Connecticut, so go Yukon Huskies. Okay, I'm going to open up a browser. And I'm going to go to Lindero website again because I know you know how to get there, 7th graders. And I'm going to go to Popular, and I'm going to go to Teacher Directory, and I'm going to go down to Sobieraj, which is me, and again show you that that has a little biography about me. I'm going to go to open the little book here, which is my actual, oh, I just went to the wrong one. 7th grade life science, that is definitely not me. Click on the one above it. There's Mrs. Sobieraj, and then cool, I click on this link, and please bookmark this immediately. Teacherweb.com, CA, California, LCMS, Mrs. Sobieraj, because sometimes the district website will be down, and generally TeacherWeb will not be down. So if you go directly and bookmark this, you'll be able to look at the homework even if the district happens to be down. So here I am on my home page. Notice my website is light blue, and the scrolling bar usually tells you something important. It generally just tells you when the math help is, and then generally the math help is before school and after school every day but Wednesday. So if you have a 0 period, you can come after school for 45 minutes from 3 to 3:45, except Wednesdays. And if you don't have a 0 period, you have two choices: before school for an hour, 7:15 to 8:15, and after school 3 to 3:45. Okay, so the first thing that you'll notice is it says hello, and it's a biography, a little bit about me and my dog and my children. So I'm going to click back. There's two ways to click around the website. One is to go back to the home page, and let me click on about the course right now, and the other is that up at the top there are all the website pages that you can click to directly. So this one is about the course, and it has all the different classes that I teach. There's a link to the Common Core Standards if you want to click on that, or your parents do. And here is Welcome to 7 High, and it's a little discussion on what your book is and what's assumed in this class, and the parent letter, which has another place that you can find the parent letter. I'm going to go back home. About your grade here. About your grade, generally this is the breakout of the grades, and down here is a more detailed description of each grading part. Assessments are tests, masteries of skills. If you didn't have those last year in 6th grade, they're basically quizzes, really important skill quizzes, and you are allowed to take them a total of 3 times, the first time and 2 retakes. Project-based learning is going to be done both at home and in class at the same time that you're learning a concept. And performance tasks are generally the McGraw-Hill ones, and generally those are done in class. Classroom activities and homework, including the daily McGraw-Hill self-checks. I talked about those during the McGraw-Hill tour, so you can look at that during the McGraw-Hill tour when you click on that. And test corrections. If you get less than 90% on a test, you have to redo the problems and hand them in. And so I'm going to go back home. And parent letters. Again, parent letters is going to be all different levels of math, so you want to make sure that you go all the way down to the 7 High parent letter, which is at the bottom here, 7 High parent letters. Okay, if I click on the 7 High parent letter, it's going to go down below here, and because it's a Word doc, and I just want to quickly show it to you, you're going to have to enable editing, because the very last page, you do not need to print out the entire letter. You need to print out this very last page, parent letter signature sheet with printing your name, your signature, your parent's name, your parent's signature, your parent's email. I have your email, um, and I've already signed it. So I just wanted to show you that. That is due next Friday, the second Friday of school. Okay, let's go back home, and let's go to the survey. The student information survey is going to be a link to a Google Doc that asks you some important information. It's the same survey for all my different periods, so make sure you click on the appropriate period. It asks you things about your math class from last year. There are 2 questions that ask your parents things. One is you get to request a special place in the room to sit. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get exactly where you want to sit, but that, by the way, it's not going to happen for a couple of weeks. I have you sitting in alphabetical order by first name for a couple weeks to help me learn your name. But below that, your parent or guardian gets to also request where they want you to sit in the room. So there's one question that they need to answer, and the very last question they also need to answer. So before you hit submit, it's going to require your parents to type something there, even if what they type is that they're going to instead email me directly. Okay, I'm going to go back home. Link to your grade is just to Aries. It's just one more place you can link to Aries, but I know you probably have already done that directly, but I just have it on my website. So I'm going to go back home. Test correction forms, and again, this is both in Excel and PDF format. Some kids like the Excel format because they type right on it, but the PDF format, again, if you get 90%, less than 90% on a test, you have to work out all the problems, and your parents need to sign it and attach it to the back. Okay, I'm going to go back to home. I'm assuming you know how to get to the videos because you're watching a video now, so I'm going to go back home. And then there are 3 rows that all look the same, but they're different levels of math. So the first one is algebra, math 8, and of course 7 high. You are the 3rd row. So let's go to Newsflash. One of your first assignments will be to subscribe to the Newsflash, so I'm going to click on that. You put your whole name, your first and last name. You have a choice of sending my Newsflash to your computer or to your cell phone. If it's to your computer, you have to enter your student ID, not your student ID, your student email. Please use your student email and subscribe. Look what happens when I switch it to the cell phone. If I switch it to the cell phone, it asks for your cell phone number. Then it asks you, let's say, your AT&T. Then it asks you to send a text to your cell phone to make sure it's right, and then you subscribe it. Most students last year actually did this. They had it sent there. Why would you want to do this? Well, first of all, you have to do this. It's worth 10 points in the class, but also I use it all the time to let you know important things like I've postponed a test. Or let's say I have to cancel math help for some reason. There's Dr. Urshay has called a meeting for all teachers or something like that. I'll let you know. Let's say I forgot to link you to something that's really important in class. I'll send you a link for that. So I'm going to go back home. So now let's go to class notes and homework for 7 high. So what's going to happen on this page is that every week there'll be a new link. So make sure you're going to the right one. So this is the first week of school. Now notice what happens when you click on this. It's not only the homework, and by the way, but it does have the homework. Let me highlight that. There's the homework. But it also has all the notes for school, whatever we did that day. And I do change it during the week if we fall behind or somehow, we have a fire drill that we didn't know and we don't cover something. So understand that you should always stay alert in class. I do a daily PowerPoint in class that also gives you the homework. But generally speaking, most students looked at this and used this. On Friday, it says you're going to have a McGraw-Hill diagnostic test. That doesn't count in your Aries grade. And it'll just help me to diagnose your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, I'm going to go back home. So understand that the class notes and homework is on the same page, so it's not just the homework, it's also the notes in case you want to print them out or you were absent. 7 high packet cover sheets are a table of contents for that week's homework. It's due on Friday. There wasn't much homework this week, so most things that you had for homework were actually things you did online or things you need to hand in next week. But you have to print this out and attach the homework in order, the order of the table of contents, and staple it at the top and hand it in each week. Okay, so I'm going to go back home. The last thing in this row is probably the one that's clicked on the most, which is 7 High Practice Tests and Handouts. I'm going to click on that. There's actually nothing here right now, but it will be all the handouts. So the handout from this week will be posted here. It's not in the video because I'm actually doing this video in June. Yeah, we just got out of school, but I'm getting things done and putting them up online. And so when you click on this, you'll see the handout that was handed out in class, and especially practice tests. But it's not just practice tests, it's also all the class handouts. I'm going to go back home. A couple other things are down here right now. The Connect Ed, again, you should have seen this when you did my tour of the student portal. So I'm going to go back home. This is for Algebra 1 students only. The Algebra 1 book, which hopefully you'll be in next year, 7th graders, has PowerPoints for every lesson, which is very, very cool. I have no idea why they don't do it for your book, but they haven't yet. I always check. If I happen to put there, I'll put the link here for you. And then on the bottom, very bottom, I always have a countdown to something important. It's usually the next 5-week progress report, but again, I've told you I am counting down right now till the first day of school. It is June 22nd when I'm actually doing this video. So there are 62 days, 17 hours, 45 minutes, and 43, 42, 41 seconds left of your summer vacation. Which hopefully you are enjoying, but you'll be back at school when you're watching this video. Okay, so that completes the tour of Mrs. Sobieraj's website. See you in class, 7th graders.